This is a true story about ordinary heroes. This is about very simple rural women in Africa. From Ethiopia to Gambia, from Mauritania to Tanzania, from Sudan to South Africa, a quiet revolution is taking place. Illiterate and semi-literate rural women, most of them grandmothers, who have never left their villages in their lives, are proving the impossible is possible. By the hands-on approach, they are baffling high-powered engineers, universities, donors, development planners, and paper-qualified experts by demonstrating incredible sophisticated technology skills and exposing the fundamental inadequacies of the formal educational system. Without using the written or spoken word, they have come to India to be trained in 6 months to be solar engineers. Unlike the universities and other urban-based training centers that are all theory and no practice, it is not surprising these women know more about practical installation, fabrication, repair and maintenance than any paper-qualified certified solar engineer after 5 years. These women represent the profile of everyday rural Africa, from poor agricultural communities, housewives, daily wage laborers, midwives, small shopkeepers, slum dwellers, are all now recognized and respected leaders in their own communities. Even after 6 months in India, using only sign language while training, they know no theories of physics, electronics, or mathematics, no names of any spare parts, and have never heard of generating power from the sun. All the women, sitting together from 26 different countries, learn how to assemble charge controllers and inverters, how to establish a rural electronic workshop in small rooms donated by the community, install solar panels on the roofs, connect them to deep cycle batteries, and solar electrify each house in the village they come from. But what is extraordinary is that they have solar electrified each house in their own villages, all on their own. As a result of 12 women solar engineers trained in India, solar electrifying 1,760 houses in 35 villages, in 2011, the President of Sierra Leone has constructed the first barefoot training center in Kontaline in Africa, where now these barefoot solar engineers will train 150 solar grandmothers from all over the country. When the 6 simple rural illiterate solar grandmothers returned to Burkina Faso, they were received as heroes. 3 cabinet ministers, the UNDP resident representative, and the entire national press were there at the airport. The Prime Minister received them. The barefoot approach believes the management, control and ownership of the technology must lie in the hands of the poor communities. They must take all major decisions like how much they are prepared to pay as a monthly contribution and who among the poorest of the poor women should go for training as a barefoot solar engineer. When the target is the poorest of the poor earning less than 50 cents a day, it is unreal and impractical to talk about business models. The partnership model is by far the most sustainable model. Poor communities in all these countries in Africa have agreed to pay what they now pay for kerosene, candle, wood, torch batteries and diesel. Depending on the economic status, they have agreed to pay between $5 to $10 per month per solar unit. This is a fundamental breakthrough because nothing should be free. The barefoot approach does not believe in issuing certificates or diplomas after training. The certification should be done by the community themselves. That is why we believe men are untrainable. They are restless, ambitious, compulsively mobile, and they all want a certificate so that they can leave the village looking for a job in the city. None of the nearly 200 illiterate grandmothers trained as solar engineers from nearly 28 countries all over Africa have left their villages. So what are the universal lessons we have learnt from training poor, illiterate rural women as solar engineers in Africa? Lesson 1. Any illiterate woman, including a grandmother, from any part of Africa can be trained without using the written or spoken word in 6 months in India to be a confident and competent barefoot solar engineer. Lesson 2. Sensitize the community first by involving them from the very beginning in taking major decisions on behalf of the whole village, and only then bring in the solar technology to the village, a genuine community-based bottom-up approach. Lesson 3. Keep urban-based paper-qualified engineers away because their arrogant top-down dependency approach, like in the case of the Millennium Village, is surely doomed to fail. They have neither the vision nor the courage nor the faith to select and train women as solar engineers. They also do not have the communication tools to speak as equals with poor communities. Lesson 4. No certificate should be issued. None of the grandmothers from any country in Africa have asked for them. Lesson 5. To reach the very poor, only a partnership model can work. The business model for the very poor in Africa will definitely fail. The cost of solar electrifying 170 villages by nearly 195 women solar engineers all over Africa is close to $3.9 million, less than the amount being wasted on 2 Millennium Villages. By 2010, the Indian government will have trained 6 women to solar electrify 400 houses in 5 villages from Mauritania, 8 women solar engineers solar electrifying 540 villages in 5 villages in Mali, 9 grandmothers to solar electrify 550 houses from 9 villages in Senegal, 6 women, 290 houses, 6 villages in the Gambia, 6 women, 250 houses, 4 villages to be solar electrified in Guinea-Bissau, 12 women, 1760 houses, 35 villages from Sierra Leone, 6 women, 600 houses and 6 villages to be solar electrified in Burkina Faso, 4 women, 150 houses, 2 villages to be solar electrified in Niger, 6 women, 110 houses, 3 villages from Ghana, 2 women, 300 houses, 2 villages from Benin, 3 women, 100 houses, 2 villages from Cameroon, 3 women, 150 houses to be solar electrified in Namibia, 2 women, 100 houses, 2 villages to be solar electrified in Chad, 4 women, 200 houses and 2 villages in Sudan, 5 women, 250 houses, 5 villages in Djibouti, 46 women, 1,870 houses, 27 villages in Ethiopia, 4 women, 200 houses, 5 villages solar electrified in Uganda, 8 women, 520 houses, 9 villages in Rwanda, 5 women, 300 houses, 3 villages to be solar electrified in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, 14 women, 1,700 houses, 8 villages solar electrified in Kenya, 12 women, 900 houses, 7 villages in the Meatu district of Tanzania, 6 women, 300 houses, 3 villages to be solar electrified in Zambia, 7 women, 316 houses, 4 villages in Malawi, 3 women, 100 houses, 2 villages in Mozambique. The 195 solar grandmothers have, as of today, solar electrified 12,700 houses in 170 villages. The first, technically and financially, self-sufficient solar electrified villages in the whole continent of Africa, indeed, the world. On a rare visit to the Barefoot College, when he also spent the night, His Holiness the Dalai Lama blessed the women solar engineers on the 13th of February 2011.
That's secret. So those illiterate villagers, even grandmother, you see, physically also a little bit old and illiterate. Yet, you see, through training, as an engineer, proud, self-confidence and dignity. Wonderful.
By 2011-2012, by including Liberia, South Africa, Southern Sudan, Zimbabwe, Egypt, almost all the countries in the continent of Africa will be covered, saving 1.5 million liters of kerosene from polluting the environment and thousands of tons of wood from being burnt, depleting the already fragile forest. There is no question, the barefoot approach is here to stay. What Mahatma Gandhi said comes to mind. First they ignore you, then they laugh at you, then they fight you, and then you win.